Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Hometown Heroes. I'm real excited tonight because tonight's guest has done a lot in such a short time. Gymnastics, basketball, softball, cooking, big fan of the Yukon women and men, and she was also Girl of the Year, which we'll talk a lot about. It is an honor to present to you Miss Macy Epstein. And Macy, I want to thank you for coming on today. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you.
So Macy, the first thing I would ask, I know you have a great love for gymnastics. When did you start to get involved with gymnastics?
Maybe like 3 or 4.
3 or 4. And let me ask you, I know it's hard, but your first class that you ever did, talk about that. Were you nervous or were you just too young to even realize?
I was too young to realize.
Right. But did you have the attitude that after the first class you wanted to keep going back? I mean, did you enjoy it? Did you feel like it was something you felt you could be good at?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Right. So talk to me a little bit about gymnastics, Macy. What are some of the things that for that first year that, you're being a new student there, what are some of the routines they'll teach you?
Like how to do a forward roll down a block and like handstands.
Right. And let me ask you, was there anything that you found challenging at all your first year?
Not really.
No. And were you the type of kid that when you'd go home and you'd be in your yard, things like that, you found yourself trying to do handstands and all that stuff? I mean, would you always be doing something?
Yeah, I would always be doing like at cartwheels down the hill.
Right. And I would imagine, Macy, that one of the cool things about doing gymnastics as well is you get to meet different people, you get to develop friendships. I mean, are there any friends that you started with back then that you're still friends with today?
Not really. I didn't really meet anyone.
No. And who was your first gymnastics coach?
I forgot their name, but I'm pretty sure it was Miss Sarah.
Miss Sarah, yeah. And one of the things too, Macy, that I know when you're doing gymnastics, you have to really pay attention because you don't want anybody getting hurt and things like that. So how important is it to be focused when your instructors are teaching you?
Very important because if you're not listening, you could hurt someone.
Right, and you can hurt yourself, which is very, you don't want to do that. Now, you said you started when you were 3 or 4, so you've pretty much done it almost 6 or 7 years now. What would you say has been your biggest strength and something that you still are trying to work on?
So I'm still trying to work on my back handspring, but my biggest success is my front handspring.
Front handspring, right. And I mean, what I find really impressive about when you see people who do gymnastics, you watch the Olympics, things like that, is a lot of it seems difficult. But I'm sure for you, when you do something that when you first tried it a few times, you struggled with it, but then you finally do get it, has to make you feel good and really feel like all the hard work and all the practices and things like that are worth it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say was like your first, I want to say like first milestone that you did in gymnastics where you said, wow, I got this routine down, and you were very proud about it?
Probably my round off.
Right. That's awesome. So Macy, let's talk a little bit about school because you're an outstanding student, but your first year of school, because of COVID and things like that, I think you went to a child's garden, correct?
Yeah.
But you did meet some cool friends there. Talk about some of the people you met at a child's garden.
So I met my friend named Mia, and our moms started talking because my mom saw her dad in the post office screaming that he was having a baby girl.
Yeah.
And then we just became friends.
And that's a really cool story, and the fact that you both become friends. And I know that Mia and you, since kindergarten, and now you're currently in 5th grade, that friendship has really been intact the whole time. Just talk about what the friendship with Mia really means to you.
Well, it means a lot to me because it means that she cares about me a lot.
Right. And I am sure, and we're going to talk about Elizabeth Shelton, but I would think like when you both had to go to a new school this year, you don't see each other as much in school as you like. So it's important that you continue to hang out outside of school and things like that. But was it difficult at all not having her in your classes this year and things like that?
Yeah, kind of, because I didn't really know anyone in my class.
Right. So Macy, one of the things that you've really been working on a lot over the last 3 or 4 years is basketball. You've really developed a love for it. And let me ask you, I know you're a big fan of the UConn men and women. Did you first find the love of basketball by watching them on TV? How did that love of basketball start for you?
It started when my dad put on a show of the girls playing basketball.
Right. Now, were there any players that you really liked a lot? Yeah, who were some of the players?
Paige Beckers.
Yeah, and she's a great one. And, you know, a cool story about the UConn men is you and your family decided to name your dog after Coach Danny Hurley. So talk about that story. How did that happen?
So my dad said he didn't want to get the dog unless we let him name it what he wanted it to be. So we really loved UConn. So my dad named it after the coach.
Right, and that's a pretty cool story. And I mean, you've gotten to see in such a short time, you've gotten to see the men win 2 championships. You've gotten to see the women win a couple. So it has to be a lot of fun. And I mean, that's something that you get to do with your parents that you really enjoy. So what's that like when you get to watch basketball with your dad and things like that?
It's special because like my uncle also gets to come over, and we always put on like our UConn gear.
Right, and that's always a lot of fun. Now talk to me about playing basketball, because the first year I can remember it very well. You're learning more, and you guys would have games, but they'd kind of be very controlled games where the coaches are helping and stuff like that. So what was that first year of basketball like? Did you realize that first year that you wanted to continue doing it?
Yeah, but it was just a little tricky when I first started.
Right. Now, what were some of the things you felt like you had to work on after that first year?
My dribbling and shooting.
Dribbling and shooting, yeah. And I mean, Macy, I know this is important. Every kid who's going to play basketball should really have a basketball hoop in their driveway or somewhere, because you can take as many shots as you want. How important is it to be outside taking shots, like taking maybe 100 shots a day? How important do you find that to be?
Kind of important.
Kind of important. Now, as time went on with basketball, you could clearly see how much better you were getting at it. They had you down low a lot because they really felt like you could rebound a lot. That second year was a big year for you. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to bring up your friendship with her a little more, but I believe that your good friend Elise Nelson played on your team, correct?
Yes.
And talk about what that was like to get to play with her, because I would think, like anything else, you know, we talked about Mia and your parents are close and things like that, but it had to be a lot of fun to have Elise on your team.
It was fun to have her on my team because I didn't really know anybody else.
Right, and that kind of relaxes you as well when you know you have somebody on your team. And just talk to me too, Macy, about some of the coaches you've played for in the last 3 years for basketball.
They really helped me with my defending.
Yeah.
And all the rebounds that I have to get.
Right. And one of the things about basketball practice, Macy, listen, I get it. A lot of people don't like to have practice because it's not games. You want games, and practice is more about doing the little things. But those little things are important. They do the dribbling drills where you dribble in place. They do the box out drills where you're learning how to box out and things like that, getting rebounds. They also do layups. Layups are very important because at a young age, you know, not everybody makes the layup right away. And foul shots. Foul shots are important as well. So just tell me about how beneficial it's been to you to be able to learn those different drills during practice.
It was like kind of hard when I first started doing them, but then I kept learning after every practice.
Right, exactly. And I mean, Mace, I'm trying to remember, I think last year's team won the championship, am I right? Or was it this year's? Or you guys went to the championship game?
We got second.
Second, right. So, I mean, just being able to be in a championship game, whether you win or lose, had to be a lot of fun. And that's the thing about you, Macy, is you just seem to enjoy the game. You love playing it. You don't really, like, let it bother you. You know, if you win, great, but if you lose, you don't take it home with you. You just try to get better each game and have fun. How important at your age is it for you to just have fun doing this stuff?
It's important because you only get to be a kid one time in your life.
Right, and that's a great answer. That really is. And you really only do get that one opportunity. Now, I want to talk about school. And you went from a child's garden in kindergarten to Elizabeth Shelton in first grade. And it was kind of tricky because you got there and COVID was starting to end, but it was still there. You still had to wear masks early on. But talk to me a little bit about the first grade experience. But before you do, I know your first grade teacher, you really admired her. And she knew you were going to be on today. And she had a little message that she wanted to share with you. And this is what she said to me. This is from, of course, your first grade teacher, Mrs. Fusco. Macy is an absolute sweetheart and a joy to have had in my class her first year at ESS. She was a role model to all of her peers, and I am so proud of the girl she is growing into. So that has to make you feel good when you hear a teacher talk that way about you. And just talk to me about having Mrs. Fusco your first year and how much that put you at ease having her that first year.
She was like one of the best teachers, and I loved how she was really nice to me and helped me with all my math.
Right. And I mean, I'm sure it helped make your transition from a child's garden to Elizabeth Shelton an easy one when you know you have a teacher that wants you to do your best but also cares about you on a personal level as well.
Um,
So let me ask you this, Macy. Who were some of the kids in the first year of Elizabeth Shelton that you really started to make friends with?
a girl named Mara.
Mara, right? And I think I know Mara. I remember her as well. I believe she has a sister, Brenna, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you also got to get to know other kids based on the ESS program that you attended. And I could think of people like, obviously you had them at a child's garden, but people like Cooper Plant, obviously Mia. So just talk to me about like the first year. What was the experience like at Elizabeth Shelton? Not just the school, but the program as well.
It was fun, just I didn't really know all that much people. But then on the second day, I met more people.
Right. And I mean, the cool thing about your Elizabeth Shelton, Macy, is all the different things you could do. They have the great Halloween trunk or treat, I think it's called. They have the breakfast with Santa. They have the dance in March that they do. And you get to partake in a lot of that. And one of the things you always did during your time at Elizabeth Shelton is you always volunteered to help out with those events. You would always help set up. How important do you think it is when you're a young kid to kind of volunteer your time and help with events like that?
It's important because you get to learn how to do it, so when you're older, you know how to do it.
Right. And I mean, it has to be a lot of fun as well. You're getting to work with like some of the adults, they're showing you different things. And like you get to do things with your friends as well, which is always satisfying. And we talked about the Elizabeth Shelton program, and you just got to meet so many different people. And I want to go back to Mia a little bit because you and Mia, like throughout your 4 years at Elizabeth Shelton, I mean, there was always a bond there. How important is it to make friends like that and continue to make sure those friendships, no matter where you go, whether you go to a new school and you don't see each other as much in school, how important is it to keep those friendships intact?
It's very important because, like, say you were, like, sad and you had no one else to cheer you up, you have your best friend to cheer you up.
Right. And another friend that I want to touch on, Macy, is Isabella Risnick. You were great friends with her during your time at Elizabeth Shelton. Just talk about getting to be real good friends with her and how important that was for you.
It was important because now I have more people in case if I'm like sad or something to like help me.
Right, exactly. And then I think of people like your good friend Ellie Mae Costco, even like I said, Cooper Plant, people that you've been friends with the entire time. That has to mean a lot when you just have like the bond you have with these people. So just talk about that a little bit.
It's important to like have a good bond with them because like say you didn't have a good bond with all your friends, then you wouldn't have any friends to like hang out with or like play with.
Right. You know, Mace, you tried softball, I believe. I think you were playing softball in first grade, maybe even before that. And something you were really good at as well. Talk to me about playing softball the few years you did, and what was your favorite position to play?
My favorite position to play was like third base or second base. And I really liked when I got like a big hit for my team.
Right. And again, you get to meet different people when they're on your teams. Sometimes you'll get kids from school that you know, they'll be on your teams as well. So I think it's always important like to try different things for the simple fact that you will um, meet different people in your life, and you'll get to kind of take those experiences with you forever.
Um, yeah.
Right. So Macy, back to basketball a little bit. How important would you say it is if you want to continue to be a good player to watch like the UConn women, to watch the UConn men, just to see how they play? You know, moving the ball around, um, playing defense, boxing out, things like that, and just watching how the game is played. How important do you think it is for you personally to always try to watch as much basketball as you can?
It's important to watch as much basketball as I can so I can learn how to do more stuff in basketball.
Right. Now, let me ask you, Macy. You've clearly played Biddy the last few years, but is there a goal to either do a travel team, an AAU team? And I mean, eventually you're going to go to junior high. Is there a goal to be on like the school team someday as well?
Yeah, kind of.
Right. And I mean, you got to keep working at it. You know that. So the other thing is, too, when they do these little coaching clinics that they do and things like that for kids, it's important that you take part in that because you could always keep learning.
It is very important to keep learning.
Right. So, Macy, back to Elizabeth Shelton a little bit. Like I said, I mean, you did so many things in your time at Elizabeth Shelton, um, always involved in something. But the main thing that I look at with you is you always felt it was important to do your homework, never like lack that, don't slack off on that. And you always made sure you did your homework. You were always reading a book, things like that. And you're a real good student. But how important is it to not only just go to school, but to continue to do the things outside of school to continue to, you know, work on being a great student?
It's important so you could like be more kind to people and make more friends.
Right. Now, do you have a favorite subject that you like more than any others?
Math.
Math. And that's math, people either love it or they don't love it. So the fact that you love it, I mean, it only means you'll work harder at it to continue to be good at it. Um, and as you know, the math gets harder, but you've really done a great job at Perry Hill this year. You made high honors. Let me ask you, obviously, the work gets harder when you get to a new school. So was that a little challenging when you first got to Perry Hill?
It was a little challenging because I had to divide and multiply fractions.
Right. And that's difficult, but the important thing is the more you do it, the more you get the hang of it, things like that. But you know, Elizabeth Shelton, Macy, I always think of like the teachers and they always speak fondly of you. And I have another teacher who wanted to send a message to you today. He was your fourth grade teacher, and of course, that was Mr. Ebert. And he wanted you to know Macy was and is the sweetest student who showed great empathy and eagerness. She is the type of student that a teacher would hope their own kids would grow into. I wish Macy the best and keep on being you. When you hear things like that, it's got to make you feel good inside because it means that you are not just a good student, but you're also a good young role model. And people see that. You heard Mrs. Fusco say that you're a great young role model. How important is that for you to kind of be like a mentor to younger kids?
It's important because then when they're older, they're also kind to people.
Right. And I would think like when you were, we'll talk about the Elizabeth Shelton program through Boys and Girls Club. I would think when you were there, you had some kids that you looked up to there. I mean, was there any kid or a couple kids that stood out to you during your time at the ESS program where you were thankful that they talked to you and, you know, kind of were like that big sister or even big brother to you?
Mia and like Ellie Mae and Isabella.
Right. And I mean, what about some of the older kids that you had there? I mean, you had different kids there over the years. I know you were really close with a girl, Ava there, Ava Johnson maybe,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Claire, things like that. How important was it to have kids like that that would make you feel accepted? Because, you did the same thing in return for the younger kids that came when you got to their age. So how beneficial was that to have them accepting you as a friend and, things like that?
Important so I can, I could learn more things from looking up to them.
Right, exactly. And one of the things you love to do, Macy, is you love to cook. And that's something that you and your dad really do a lot together. And talk to me a little bit just about the bond you have with him and how much fun it is when you could cook with him, you could shoot hoops with him in the driveway, you could do all that stuff. How important has it been to just be able to do different things with your dad?
It's important because he teaches me to make a lot of different foods, and he also helped me a lot with my defense in basketball.
Right. And it's always important because, like anything else, you want to make your parents proud, but no matter what, they're proud of you anyway. So it always makes you feel good when you could learn something from them. And cooking, I mean, what are some of the things you like to cook?
I like to cook steak with him
Right.
and chicken.
Right. And to you, it's not even work, right? It's fun. So you get to experiment with it and things like that. Um, is- would you ever, when you get to high school, take a cooking class if it was available to you? I mean, would that be something you would want to do when you get to high school?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And I mean, Macy, we talk about all the different sports you do and things like that. Gymnastics takes up a lot of your time, as you know. I mean, it's fun, but it does take up a lot of your time, as does basketball. But it sounds like to me you don't care about that. You love going to it all the time. And I mean, how important is it to give yourself different opportunities, like things that are there for you? Now, softball, you decided not to play this year, but you played it for a few years. You tried it. How important is it to always keep trying different things that are, there, the opportunities are there for you?
It's very important because you can learn a lot of different things from it.
Right. And I would think this, like gymnastics, I mean, do you ever watch the girls on TV doing it and things like that? I mean, it's very big in the Olympics. I mean, were you able to watch some of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, how much fun is it when you're going to have a competition and you get to go there? I mean, I'm sure there's always a little nerves because that's normal, but how excited are you when you get out there?
Excited.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Macy, we talked about, again, being a great student and things like that. As I mentioned before, you were part of the Elizabeth Shelton Boys and Girls Club program. You did that for 4 years. How important was that to be a part of that program? Because you really did make a ton of friends. You got to know so many people over the years. How much fun was it those 4 years doing that program?
It was really fun.
Right. I mean, was there anything particular you loved doing when you were there? I mean, I think about the goofy pictures that you, Mia, Ellie Mae, Isabella, you girls would all do these crazy pics and things like that. So I think like just being able to have fun with your friends was probably the thing you loved the most.
Yeah.
Right. Now, one of the things that was a big highlight for you in your 4 years, uh, almost a year ago in June, you were honored with the Elizabeth Shelton Girl of the Year award. Now, first off, let me ask you, did your mother kind of like surprise you? Did she tell you were getting an award? Or did she try to just, surprise you and say we had to go somewhere? I mean, how did that all come about and what was that feeling like when your name was announced?
She made me dress fancy and said that we were going to like a festival or something.
Yeah.
And then we showed up at the Boys and Girls Club and I realized that I was getting an award.
Right. And what was the feeling like? Because I think you could tell when your name was, like when the speech was being read, talking about your 4 years at Elizabeth Shelton, you kind of had a good idea you were going to win that award. What was that feeling like knowing that you were about to walk up there and get a big trophy like that?
I was happy and a little bit nervous.
Yeah. And everybody's always a little nervous because when they go up there, there's a lot of people and things like that. But I mean, that had to be a great moment for you. I mean, in your 4 years at Elizabeth Shelton, when you're being recognized and honored with an award like that, it makes you realize that the people that worked with you there, the counselors, they saw just all the wonderful things you did. So, I mean, I would imagine you didn't sleep much that night, correct?
Hmm.
Right. Now, Macy, it's always sad when you leave something and you get to get a new opportunity and you got to go to Perry Hill, which we'll talk about. But how sad were you to leave Elizabeth Shelton? Because you knew it was the end. You knew so many people there, as I mentioned, Mrs. Fusco, Mr. Ebert. I'm sure, there were other teachers there as well, Mrs. Sims, Mr. Murphy, people like that. So how difficult was it to leave Elizabeth Shelton?
It was difficult because I didn't know anybody else there.
Right. So let me ask you, you've been in Perry Hill almost a year now. You're a fifth grader. How has the first year been for you? How has that experience been?
Good. I made a lot of new friends in my class.
Right. And I mean, have you tried any of the different clubs that are available there?
Yeah.
Right. What were some of the clubs that you tried to do?
The first one I did was Color Our World, and then the one that I'm doing now is the Dazzling Duct Tape.
Dazzling duct tape. And a lot of people like that. I mean, kids do that over the years. And the cool thing about going to a new school like that is you obviously get a homeroom teacher, but you also get different teachers. You're switching classes, you get lockers. So it's different but good. How cool has it been to be able to like switch classes and things like that?
Well, it's cool, but it's just a little hard to grab all your stuff and line up and walk over to the other
Right.
classes.
But the one thing it does teach you more than anything else is responsibility.
Hmm.
So you got to be responsible. You got to make sure that you get your stuff before that next bell rings, things like that. So I mean, I would think the first year experience has been a wonderful one, correct?
Yes.
Right. And now, Macy, I know you're at the Boys and Girls Club this year. Have you joined any of the clubs there this year? I think Torch Club maybe.
Yeah.
And any other clubs like cooking?
Oh yeah, I also did cooking and baking.
Right, and doing that with your dad, I mean, I'm sure that you probably had a little leg up on everybody because you've done that stuff. So talk to me first about doing the cooking club at the club and what are some of the things you guys made that year?
Well, we made like these vegan chocolate Rice Krispie things,
Yeah,
and that's all I was only there for that.
right. But how cool was it to be able to do that? I mean, you get to do the different things, you get to be with your friends, like I said. I mean, and that was a little adjustment for you as well, Macy, because you had went to the Elizabeth Shelton program. Now you're going to the club itself. But it sounds like to me that you just have fun. It doesn't matter where you are. You're going to make the most of your day. How important is it to make sure that you're having fun all the time?
Important because you're only a kid once and you can't really have fun when you're an adult that much.
Right. The sort of true, but you can have fun, but it's just different. Now the other thing is now I did Torch Club for 12 years. I ran, did that. It was a lot of fun. Talk to me about that first year of doing Torch Club. What are some of the things you and your friends have done so far this year?
We made like these boxes for the bottle drive, but then they got ruined, so we had to make new ones.
Right, but I mean, I think like that's another when you have little setbacks like that, Macy, it makes you only work harder. So even though they had gotten ruined, you were able to make new ones, and it just makes you want to make them better than they even were the first time around. So how important is it to be able to do team projects with not just friends but members of that Torch Club?
Very important because you figure out how to work together.
Right, and now the good thing is your friend Mia does it with you, correct?
Hmm.
So again, you're getting to do things with Mia. You're keeping that, making sure that friendship is solid, which it always will be. And the other thing is too, Macy, is you just get to learn different things and understand that life has all these opportunities. And I'm sure you would encourage anybody to do different programs because you can never stop learning.
Hmm.
Right. Now, we talked about your dad. Now, another person, obviously, who's always been a big fan of yours, and that, of course, is your mother. And your mother, Macy, has always been involved in everything you do. She always makes sure that she's with you every step of the way, cheering you on all the time. Just talk to me about how important it's been having your mom, like, be that, number one fan in the background for you.
Important because I know that she cares about me.
Right. And it has to make you feel good when again, we talked about winning that award, and you could show both your parents that I did this, and you could see how proud they are of you. And that's the thing too is, you and your mom, you kind of have that bond where um, even when things look like they're tough, she's always going to give you the encouragement you need to keep doing it. That she never discourages you. She's always there cheering you on. So that's got to make you feel good, and it makes you relax because you know that even if you feel like maybe you didn't achieve something you wanted to, your mom always knows you're trying, and that's the most important thing. And that's got to make you feel good, to have your mother always right there.
Hmm.
Right. So, Macy, let me ask you, you're going to enter sixth grade next year, and again, it'll be your last year at Perry Hill. It goes by so quick. But what are some of the goals you have for sixth grade? Is there anything in particular that you may want to try, things you want to do? What would the goal be?
To memorize my division and multiplication facts.
Right. And how much would you say, Macy, that you work at your house with your math and stuff? How many hours a week would you say you put in to try to just like be as good a student as you could possibly be?
Like an hour or two.
Each day, right? Yeah. And that's important because you have to study, you have to do things like that. And it's important too to not just focus on the stuff that you really like, but the stuff that you may not always, because everybody always has a subject that they never, they like a lot of them, and then there's that one where they're like, oh, I got to go to this class today. So even though you may not like a certain subject, you understand though you have to work just as hard at it because it's important to know it as well.
Hmm.
Right. And let me ask you as well, as far as like basketball goes, I mean, is there a goal at some point? I mentioned this earlier, like to do a travel team. I mean, would you like to take it to that next level and have a travel team and things like that?
Yeah, kind of.
Right. And you know that you're going to have to put the work in, but I think like you don't worry about that stuff. The attitude is, okay, this is what I have to do. I'm going to do it. And one of the things I mentioned, Macy, about being a great role model, and you were a great role model to so many young kids, whether it was at school, the program, the Boys and Girls Club, but you've also been the biggest role model to your younger sister, Peyton, who really looks up to you. And tell me about that because I get it. It's not always easy when siblings want to tag along all the time, and there's like a 3-year difference between you and Peyton. But I mentioned your mom being your biggest fan. I would think you're Peyton's biggest fan. You're always cheering her on, always encouraging her. So talk to me a little bit of how important it's been for you to be a good role model to Peyton.
It's important to be a good role model to Peyton because I could teach her all the stuff she doesn't know, and I could like teach her what's wrong and what's right.
Right. And I noticed last year, Macy, your final year at Elizabeth Shelton, there were times Peyton was having a difficult time. Like just, she knew this was the last year she was going to have you at the school. So I think that made her a little nervous. But through the whole thing, you always made it a point to ask her how her day was, how everything went. You always helped her any way you could. I mean, that's really what like a big sister should be. And let me ask you, is it something that your parents always taught you to do, or is it just you saying, you know what, she's my little sister, I'm always going to look out for her?
I'm always going to look out for her.
Right. And it must make you feel good to know that she looks up to you, she trusts you, and she knows that she could go to you for anything.
Hmm.
Right. So I talked about this friend early on, and she's been probably your friend, Macy, since the time you both were, she's a year older, but since you both been born. And that's Elise Nelson. I mentioned she was on your basketball team. But you and Elise have pretty much went on vacations everywhere together. You name it, the two of you have went somewhere together. Just talk about that friendship and how important it is. And all your parents are friends as well, which helps. But just talk about having Elise in your life, because I'm sure Elise has been a role model to you over the years.
It's important because to have a older role model, because then like say you did something wrong, they could just teach you how like to do it.
Right. And it must have made you again feel good your first year at Elizabeth Shelton to know Elise was there, She was also part of the program with you. So you got to have Elise there as like somebody that was like an older sister with you. And I mean, it just relaxes you. So she's always just been a very big part of your life, correct?
Correct.
Right. And Mace, I would think about this as well. We talked about the different teachers, the role models, and things like that. But I really do believe that you have to put the work in. You have to be willing to work hard. And it seems like to me that that's your attitude all the time. Okay, if I want to be good at basketball, I can't just go to practice. I have to do the things off the court. Gymnastics, if I want to be really good, I got to keep practicing my routines. I can't just like say, I don't feel like doing it today. And then the other part of it is, you have to go to practice. You have to do those things. So it sounds like to me that you're willing to do all that. You know it's going to be hard work, but you're not about to just like take any shortcuts. You're going to do whatever you can to be, like I said, the very best that you could be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Macy, I was thinking about this as well. You love doing different activities. You have a passion for all of that. But you also like to help people a lot as well. You like to be there for them. You like to encourage them to try different things. I mean, would there ever be a goal of yours someday to be a teacher? Because I think you'd be a great teacher. I think you could do a great job. I mean, you're young, and when you're in fifth grade, you think about doing a million things. One day, you want to be a teacher. Next day, you want to be a doctor. So there's always different things you want to do. I mean, would you ever consider being a teacher someday?
No.
It's not for you. No. And that's totally fine. But is there like a goal that you have of something you want to do when you grow up someday?
I want to be a baker and have my own bakery, or be in the WNBA.
Wow. And those are great goals to have because you want to work hard for them. And again, I mean, I look at all those different cake shows that they show, and they look so challenging and things like that. But it sounds like to me that you would be very motivated to work as hard as you can, to be as good as you can. And I mean, that's pretty much the concept. And it's really kind of defines who you are as a person. You're not scared to put in the work, and you're not scared to try things. And that really says a lot about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Another person that's been impactful in your life is Jen Plant. I know like she's been a great family friend and things like that. She was also at the school. Now, you never had her as a teacher, but she was always somebody that was there, a big fan of yours. Just talk about Mrs. Plant and how awesome she's been for you.
She's been really awesome because if I ever needed help, I could have gone to her and asked her for help.
Right, exactly. And so going forward, Macy, when you finish up at Perry Hill and you take that next step, you're going to go to Shelton Intermediate School. Before you know it, high school is going to come. But what are some of the goals for Shelton Intermediate, Shelton High School? What are some of the things you want to be able to do as you go forward?
To like memorize my multiplication and division problems.
Right. And now, are there any other sports besides basketball that you want to try at those schools? Like, there's so many things you could do, whether it's lacrosse, whether it's soccer, whether it's field hockey. No matter what the situation is, there's so many, the running, track, cross country, things like that. There's so many opportunities there. Would you ever consider trying any of those?
I would try considering doing lacrosse.
Right. And I believe, like, I mentioned Elise, but I correct me if I'm wrong, I think her older sister Molly has done lacrosse over the years, correct?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And another sport, Macy, that you decided you're going to give a try soon is golf. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, I don't mind playing it, but I'm terrible at it. But let me ask you this. What made you decide you want to try golf? And is this something that you think you're going to want to stick out through the years?
I think I'm going to want to stick out through the years. And also, I started playing because my dad really wanted me to play with him on the green, so I tried it.
Did you like it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like anything else, that may be the most difficult sport to play. As you see these men and women on TV when they play. They have such difficulty doing golf because it is a hard game. But again, that's just you trying to challenge yourself, better yourself. Is this something you're going to do this spring a lot, is play golf?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the good thing is you'll get to go to the green with your dad. So, I mean, you can always learn as you're playing with him. And then when the opportunity comes, I mean, I think of some former ESS kids who were on the golf team and they did a great job. I mean, that's something you could do in high school. And listen, I always say this, golf is an individual sport, so you just focus on you when you play, and that's something, that I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Macy, before we go, what advice would you give to a kid that is getting ready to, I don't know, say enter 5th or 6th grade, and they, it's a whole new world for them. There's things that are going to be hard, there's things that are going to be fun, but there will be some challenges along the way. What advice would you give to those kids who, want to better themselves with different things? What advice would you give them?
To believe in themselves and to never give up and try new things.
Yeah, and that's a great attitude to have. And finally, Macy, is there anything you want to say before we go here today? No, you're good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on today. It was a real pleasure. You did a wonderful job. And just keep up the great work because you're doing great things. And I really applaud you for the work that you're doing. So just keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, folks. You just got to know Macy Epstein this last hour. And what a wonderful kid she is. She has a lot of goals. But the most important thing about her is the kindness she has and the compassion she has for others. She talked about being a big sister to her little sister, being a role model to the young kids, helping them any way she can. That's who Macy is, and that's who Macy always has been. That's why it's so easy to root for somebody like her, because she's always there to help everybody else. It really shows who she is. And when all is said and done, Macy will leave an indelible mark on her school, her friends, her family, her sports teams. That's just the type of person Macy Epstein is. For Hometown Heroes, I'm Mike Kenichi saying, good night, everyone.